Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today my special guest is Jessica Gruber, who's based in Texas, and she's the founder of an agency called Buzzwords, who inspire brands to discover their digital marketing possibilities. Welcome to the show, Jessica. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes. Hi, Scott. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Let's get stuck into it. So let's begin with your background and how you first got into marketing and websites.
Well, my background is actually, I have a degree in communication design, specializing in art direction. So I came into the world as a traditional print designer. And then I got picked up as a print designer to supplement a web design agency. And through them, that's where I got my start. So from there, I just kind of grew. And then that one day, the two agencies, there was a merger. I went through a merger with my agency, and the developer one day just decided to quit, and a website was due within the next week or so. And they said, "Hey, Jessica, you want to learn how to code a website?" And I'm like, do I have a choice? And so I learned how to code my first website in a week, and that's kind of where I took off from digital marketing.
So how far back was that?
That was probably about 7 years ago. I worked for the agency for about 3 years. By the end of it, I was pretty much running their creative and development section of their agency. And then I decided to go off and freelance and kind of start my family and have my business on the side.
So was it sort of WordPress that you had to learn? Was it the platform?
Back then, I originally learned on a CMS called Light CMS. It was proprietary. I don't even know if they're still around. And then from there, I moved the agency into using WordPress.
I've never heard of Lightspace, but yeah, that's interesting. And then sort of recently you've branched out more into funnels a bit. So what was the sort of the catalyst or the driving force behind getting into funnels as well?
The driving catalyst of it was because mainly nowadays when you launch a website, if it's a brand new website, you're not going to see instant attraction to it. And that was the one thing that was lacking, because I would build these beautiful websites and they're like, "Jessica, there's no traffic coming." I'm like, well, times have changed. We got to drive traffic to it. So whether it be organic or paid traffic, we need to drive traffic somehow. And I chose to go the funnel route just because it's more of an instant gratification, and that's what the clients are wanting. They don't want to wait 3 or 4 months to build their organic and approve content and be very involved. They want to do an upfront involvement, have it built, and then have an engine that drives the traffic to them.
Okay. Would you agree with the school of thought that it's sort of a website is more like a brochure, an online brochure these days, or do you think that's a bit harsh?
It depends what you're using it for. Websites can be used for many things. I mean, a funnel is technically a website. It really depends what you're using it for. Small businesses, yes, it does tend to be a brochure website, but recently I've launched a nonprofit website where, since they're active on social media, they actually pull people onto their platform, and they have generated donations now through their website.
Very cool. Interesting. All right. So tell me a little bit about your agency, Buzzwords, and what you provide for your clients with that.
Pretty much what we've been talking about. We do websites, and then we use funnels to help push and leverage the initial traffic into their website. So that way they're not just sitting there saying, "Okay, when's the next person going to come knock on my door through my website?" They actually have people coming and prospecting their website.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. So including yourself, how many team members have you got in the agency?
I have 5,
Okay.
and they are all contractors right now.
Yeah.
So I don't have any that are physically on the payroll.
Right.
And they all work globally. I have ones in Alaska. I have one in New Zealand. So
Not far from me.
yeah, there you go.
Okay. So are you doing any of the actual work, or are you just sort of getting the contractors to do the work and you're mainly just focused on bringing in the clients? Is that how you do it, or?
I bring on the clients, and then I love to do the intro discovery strategy with them. And then I pass that off to the team and let them do what they do best in, which is the technical building part of it.
Okay. Yeah, sounds nice. All right, cool. So who would you say is your ideal customer niche or target market, like that you're, ideally are looking for when you're advertising?
Right now, I am focused on vertical services. That's where my experience is at. I've kind of been all over the place with it. I mean, I've even done sex coaches, and that was at the beginning of my freelance experience. And I thought I had to take on every single client, but yeah, probably would never do sex coaches again. That was a little out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I work with a client in Africa who does safaris. I've worked with a doctor in California that is a major player in ozone therapy. I've done shopping developments. I've done speech therapists. So I've been all over the place. Right now, I'm focusing on MSPs, which is IT services, and dog daycares. Those are my two focuses right now.
Okay, that's pretty unique. I guess sort of most people would start off very broad, and then as they get more experience, they'd sort of focus in on a particular area. So I reckon that'd be pretty normal.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason to focus in is just so we can serve the verticals better, and not have to redo a complete discovery session. I mean, everyone has their unique brand,
Yeah.
but applying what you already know to their unique brand is really where you're able to start generating.
And it would make it a lot easier to replicate too if you're sort of dealing with the same sorts of customers as well, instead of everybody, I would imagine too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So do you also offer other things like sales copy, traffic optimization? Is it like a full service package, or is it mainly just like the funnels and the websites that you build?
We do provide copy. Usually we do have to write the copy for websites and funnels. We do support them after they launch their funnel and optimize it. And what was your last one? I'm sorry. Was there a
Traffic optimization and copy. They were the main three things that I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and we can provide them on SEO, organic SEO. It's a hard one to pull off because you have to wait for results
Yeah.
to come in, but we can
Clients
offer.
impatient usually.
Yeah, they're like, where's the traffic? And I'm like, hold on. There's a strategy to this. So
Yeah, that's definitely a long-term one. So yeah, I can understand what you're getting at there. So, all right, tell us about one of your most successful marketing campaigns and why you believed it performed so well.
So probably my best one so far was for Dr. Rowan out in California. And why it performed it so well was he already had a good following. So it was, I guess it's kind of cheating in a way in the marketing world, but he didn't have any email lists whatsoever. And so last month we launched just a simple landing page and we just put it out to his community and said, hey, if you want to join, sign up. And within a couple of days, he had 700 signups, and we haven't driven any paid traffic or created any lead magnets or anything. I'm working on him. He is in the older generation, so he doesn't quite. It's actually really funny because he used to do radio in his younger years, and he gave that up. So he knows how to market. He just doesn't know how to translate it into digital marketing.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So what are your favorite online tools and platforms that you use to run your business?
My online tools is kind of the standards. I use Elementor and WordPress, Teamwork for my project management. And then I have my accounting with QuickBooks. So I kind of keep it simple and clean.
Yeah, I've used Elementor a fair bit. That's a very powerful WordPress plugin, I guess you'd call it. And I found that pretty user-friendly I'm used to using ClickFunnels, and even though it's not really the same as ClickFunnels, but with the elements and so on, it's pretty powerful, I found.
Yes, it is. It is. It's changed the game of web design, and it's actually made it more competitive because it's made it accessible to them, especially with the templates they've created. So when you go in with clients, you're really trying to find the one person that really does want something customized for their brand that speaks to their brand, and not someone just wanting a brochure website kind of thing.
Yeah, I see, like we're talking about before. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the biggest and most common mistakes that you see your clients making?
Wanting every single client. Especially in the MSP world, if you go and speak to someone that owns a business, they're like, we want every single business. I'm like, well, for marketing, we need to break it down a little more. So it's getting them to think about who their perfect ideal client is, and then creating a funnel that speaks to that market. Because if you go too broad, as you know, you're casting the net too wide, and
Yeah.
they're not getting their ideal clients. They're getting these 1 or 2 seaters that they're nice, but they don't bring in the money, where they want the 10-seat tech people to be coming in. And that's when you're having to break down and really niche in.
Yeah, there's a famous saying that if you're marketing to everybody, then you're really marketing to nobody. I'm not sure who that came from originally. I've got no idea, but that's pretty much what you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to stand out as well, because there's so many people that are doing the same sort of thing, and unless you're actually specialised in one specific area, then what's the reason why somebody should sign up with you, I guess. So yeah, that's the thing.
We live in a world of customization right now, where everyone wants a solution personally for them.
Yeah, that's the thing. What worked 10 years ago doesn't work now. So yeah, you've got to really niche it down. So exactly right. Yeah. So what would you say is the biggest challenge that you consistently have to face while running your agency?
Right now, it would be time with COVID and the family home and balancing things. So I know that's not a specific thing within my agency, but given the time period that we're in, and I have 3 kids that are at home, and we're having to teach homeschool, and then we're having to juggle an agency plus my husband's corporate job. So it's been interesting to figure it all out.
Yeah, I had my son home for homeschool for about a month, and that was bad enough for me, because I'm busy trying to do my work, and it's the teacher's jobs to be teaching him stuff, and then because he's at home, he doesn't want to actually do the work, and it's hard to get anything done. So, and that's with one son. So with 3, I can imagine it's be a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. They're still in the younger years, so it wasn't a complete blow. Hey, everyone's coming home. So
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess there's positives and negatives to that sort of thing. So yeah, I see what you're saying. All right. So with an eye to the future, what are you curious about or researching right now regarding digital marketing, or funnels, or websites, or that sort of thing?
I've actually been kind of taking a break and doing some personal research, or just kind of personal reading. I'm usually always reading a book, but right now I'm just doing some personal reading because everything's going crazy and I just need some time for myself. It's important to take a time away and refresh before the next day comes.
Yeah, so just chilling out basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, so who are the marketing idols or the biggest influences on your career?
So I kind of have to go back to my roots of art direction for this, which would be campaigns that you remember. So when you have a funnel, and you look at a funnel, you remember them, but you don't really remember them. They're that instant gratification, but it goes away. It's a ripple in the pond. So I really love following people that create advertising campaigns. So take the Budweiser Toads made by Jeff Goodby and Rich Silverstein. They also created the Got Milk campaign. Or take the Chick-fil-A cows. I mean, things that are simple and memorable. That's what I love to follow.
Okay, so the stuff that stands out and you remember it a year on. I mean, there's so many advertisements that you see during the day that, 99% of them you just forget about, but sort of the ones that you're talking about, they stick in your mind.
Yeah, the ones that have creative simplicity. That's the stuff that gets me excited.
Okay, interesting. All right, so just to wrap up, where can people go to find out more about your services and or your products?
They can go to buzzworks.com. It's spelled BUZZWKS.com.
Excellent, awesome. So thanks for your time and the tips you've shared, Rebecca. It was great to have you on the show. Oh, sorry, not Rebecca, Jessica, sorry. It was great to have you on the show. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Okay.